This is Martin Brossman and
Charles Register.
we're doing a new studio setup test, but we thought we'd do something educational and throw it on YouTube anyway. So, Charles, let's talk about fundamentals of a camera. And we've got the nice Sony ZV-E camera here, but there's some fundamentals people need to understand of what's going on.
Okay, well, this is a digital camera. So instead of film, it has a sensor in here that is sensitive to light. The way the light gets in there is through this lens.
There we go. Good.
And if you could see inside there,
Yeah.
there's an aperture. It's several blades that kind of open and close to create an f-stop, which is anywhere from on this camera is from f22, which is the smallest, to the largest, which is f2.8. The numbers don't really...
Well, they're an inverse, basically.
Yeah, they're not really easily understood at
right.
first.
So it's like the reciprocal of.
Okay.
Is one way, maybe. But you know, the smaller number means you're letting in more light, and the bigger number means you're letting in less light.
Correct.
And you have more things from the point of focus in focus with the smaller number, but you're also letting in less light.
Right, and that's called depth of field.
Yeah.
But before we even get to depth of field, we have to talk about the shutter speed, because the shutter speed is how long the shutter stays open when that aperture is open, and that depends on how much light it allows to come through the lens and fall on the sensor. So a faster shutter speed, which means the shutter is open shorter amount of time, because that's faster, allows less light. Okay, so for instance, 1 second, that's a long shutter speed. 1/1000th of a second, of course, is a fast shutter speed. And then to go to another level, we have ISO, which is the sensitivity of the sensor or film if you have a film camera. And so the lower number, 100, is better than 400 for noise.
Right.
But 400 is faster, so it's more light sensitive. But like everything, there's a trade-off. So 100 ISO is more clear, has less noise. But the thing about this Sony camera is, I just tested this, and you can go up to like 1600 and still be pretty clear. After that, you start seeing a little bit of noise, but still acceptable up to 3200 or 4000.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like a 4000 speed film would have been like you could see sand pebbles.
It would be like golf balls as we got. It would really look grainy. And the sensors have evolved. Now, this is what's called a full-size sensor. So it's really kind of the size of traditional film.
Traditional 35 millimeter film,
Yeah.
yes.
And many of the ones you normally have is what's called a crop sensor. So you'll take the lens and you multiply it by that value to figure out what it is. So this is a 28 to 75 millimeter full frame lens on a full frame camera. So it's actually 28, which is pretty broad, down to 75 millimeters. Right. And that's the kind of the zoom factor or wide angle factor of it.
Right, and on a crop sensor camera, you would actually multiply it by 1.5, so it'd be like a 28 plus 14. So what's that, 42? 42 instead of 28 into 75, so it's like about a 105-ish, 110. It's like a 42 to 110 on a crop sensor cameras, which are usually cost less. But it makes your lenses more telephoto. Mm-hmm. So if you had like a 300 millimeter telephoto lens, and it's actually like a 450. Mm-hmm. And this is now, the only reason that is because it's a cropped sensor. It's smaller, but it's just like if you had a full frame sensor and only used that amount of the sensor, it would be the same thing. It's just like cropping in.
Sure. There's one more thing I think is important to learn on a little higher grade camera, and that's exposure compensation. Would you talk about that? Because that's, I think, important, especially when people are taking pictures in a little light box that has, you know, it's all white in the background, and exposure compensation, another thing I think is worth learning.
Sure. Well, what it does is it adjusts your exposure either lighter or darker. And you can go up to like as much as 3 stops brighter to 3 stops darker. But the only way the average person can do is how they would use that is if they see that the image on the screen looks too dark, probably because they're using the auto settings. Where if you use a manual setting, you can set it to where it looks fine to start with. But if you're using the auto setting and you think, oh, that looks too dark, and there's a couple of reasons why the auto setting would give you a dark exposure. Maybe there's a bright light in the frame, so it's trying to bring that down to more of a normal. But anyway, so you would just adjust if it's too dark on the screen, you would just add some exposure compensation +1 or +2 until it looks better. But now you can be fooled by the monitor may not be accurate. So we saw that happen not too long ago where in this really bright light, the monitor or the screen here, it looked okay. But when it got the pictures back, they were overexposed.
And you got to learn to work with whatever camera you have.
So
it's not just
right. So really, even better way to judge that is use the histogram and not just eyeball it. I'm pretty much used to eyeballing it, but if you don't have something good to eyeball to start with, it could be a problem. But the histogram will tell you, will give you a pretty good idea of where your light values are in there. Do you know what a histogram is?
Yeah, I do. It's that kind of, it's a chart in there, and you want a nice distribution, and see if it will show up. I don't know if we'll put it on the other camera if you can see it.
It's prepping the image database file.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can get to that by just
let's see. Let
display.
me switch to you, and if you want to turn it, go ahead, switch. Let's see if we can put it in.
There it is.
There, it's lower. Let's see if we can zoom it in on this camera here. See that the lower right, that little thing jumping up and down there, right there. Whoa, right there. That's it. So that's the histogram, and then you get kind of one here too, in the lower area. See down there?
Is that histogram
right?
too, or is that?
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. That's
Yeah.
on that screen.
Yeah.
On
So,
that display.
but you're right. That's the histogram, and you want to tell them what you'd like to see in a histogram.
Well, okay. So this histogram is white, changing information over a black background. You don't want everything. You don't want a lot on either end.
Okay. Right.
You'd want most of everything to be between the ends.
I see. Then you got a nice distribution. Bring it in there.
Right. So that would mean your lights and your darks, your blacks, your whites are all within a good space. Whereas if everything was at one end or the other, see like that?
Yeah, see how it's, well, let's see. Turn it a little more so we can see it to the camera. Let me let you zoom in. There it goes. Hold it in there and give it a second to, whoa. Kind of focus. Still like focusing on you. But that's the idea. I didn't put it to auto block view things,
reversed.
But you can see it.
Anyways,
that's it.
everything's at one end because it's dark.
Well,
You don't want that.
This completes our mini test. We're testing out some different lighting and some different settings and 2 cameras. And this was a test we're doing, but we thought we'd produce it, throw it on YouTube, and see if you find it useful. If you do, make sure to click subscribe and the bell on the YouTube channel, and have a great day. This is Martin Brossman and
Charles Register.
take care.